First of all, I was inspired by the Stravinsky score. I mean, that's really the reason why I wanted to do the sacrifice. The first time I listened to it, I thought, how can music be so discordant? The idea to do the sacrifice came because I wanted to do a fusion of contemporary dance and Tswana dance, which is Tswana dance is from my heritage, you know, and the movement vocabulary is very elegant, very intricate. It's inspired by little animals, little fast animals, but the major one being the meerkat. I spent a month with the Tswana dance teacher just learning. It's very rhythmical, very much so like the Stravinsky score, very complex rhythms, which was very hard for the dancers because, I mean, none of us had ever done it before, but we had an amazing teacher and it was really great. So Tswana dance comes from Botswana, but mostly it's done by the Khoisan in Namibia. I mean, that's where it stems from. So you have the hunters and the gatherers, and so in the work I try and incorporate that a little bit because women would do things a certain way and men would do things a certain way. So I try touching that a little bit in the work. So, you know, like small little things that are very important in the culture. One of our mentors, when he was giving us notes, he said we must think of the work as being from Mother Earth to community and then to the universe. So every time you do a movement, you need to know where you're sending it to. So you're not just idly moving. It needs to be clear that, okay, I'm now there, I'm here, and I'm there. If you had seen Zulu dance and then you see Tswana dance, you'd see very distinctly that Tswana dance is very up and it's light. So you're light on your feet, but you're still doing very, very fast rhythms. And I think that the reason why it's easier to go faster is because you have to be light on your feet. So I always say to the dancers, you can't have your weight go into the ground. You know, it has to go up, and you have to make it look as if you're walking, basically. In South Africa, there's so many different cultures and traditions, and we do a lot of rituals. So I wanted, like, that first part of the piece to be about that, to explain to people, okay, we do these rituals before we do a sacrifice. In a lot of the cultures in South Africa, they will slaughter an animal, and then that is an offering to the ancestors. In the rite of spring, I mean, the maiden dances herself to death, but I wanted something completely different. I wanted the sacrifice to kind of be something beautiful. I wanted people to look at it from the point of view of the maiden, which is where the narrative comes in, because the narrative is very thin in the rite of spring. So I had to try and figure out, okay, how do we not just make it about dance and then the chosen one, you know? How do we incorporate the rituals, and how do we follow the maiden through the journey of her then getting to the point where she's being sacrificed, because it involves the community.